Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. It's been a while, and as you can see, I have not been in the sun for about a year. So you're looking extra dark. I look like a ghost. Can you guys even see me right now? So when we left off last time, we were about to start our second round of IVF. And by Monday, the 17th of July, a nurse from KIMBYR, because that's who we went with, got back to me with all of my baseline information to start our second round of IVF. So for the very first round of IVF, we went with, I think, the menstrual cycle, like right after you get your period.
Yeah, you did it right after your period.
And then this time, they wanted us to try luthial. So that one's a little bit different. So I had my information, and they let me know that I had 13 follicles, which was not bad. There was 8 on the left and 5 on the right ovary, and they were small. They were less than 10 millimeters, which is exactly what they said they wanted to see before the stimulation, because you explained this last time.
Right, because they can only get a certain size. After that, they could possibly rupture. So they have to stop, and whatever you get, that's what you get.
Yeah, so if there's like 5 big ones that are close to 18 to 20 millimeters, then that's all we're gonna get. And then the littler ones, they don't mature enough.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that they won't deliver an egg, though.
Right, exactly. So for this time, we started the exact same protocol for the most part, except I thought it was odd that we ordered all the same amount of medications, but we had so much left over. Like,
right.
We still have meds till this day.
I felt like it was a much quicker process than the first one.
I
But
did
that's
too.
also because, it's dependent on how your follicles grow. If they grow to that threshold, you have to stop. So I think that's why we had so many.
Yeah, and this time I was also taking Clomid. I was taking 100 milligrams and Provera at 10 milligrams. So I didn't do that last time. So that could have helped stimulate them faster.
Right.
Because I felt like we were right back into surgery within like a week, but it was actually 10, I think it was 10 days. Well, I counted 10 days. So along with the injections we had Follistim at 300 units, Menopur at 150, and Omnitrope at 35 units. And we were doing them every night at 8 o'clock. And this time,
We were much better about delivering your medications on time.
yeah, we had a schedule because last time it was all over the place. It was whenever he got done or I got done with something and we would go do it. But this time it was scheduled 10 days out. That was when it was going to be. And we started the injections and it felt like he said, like it went so much faster. But also I was more familiar with the injections last time. I was so scared. It took us 3 hours for him to do one injection
On the first night.
one night. So this time it was really easy. Like
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, you were a pro. We definitely had the spa music going on and the lighting. But
We did.
yeah, you were great.
And you were great.
We were
Because you
great.
knew how to do the injections really well, even from the beginning.
Like a ninja.
Okay. So I'm going to be laying on the couch.
Hey Google,
Okay.
change the brightness of all the lights to 25%.
I'm going to be laying on the couch. We like to make the mood, I don't know, relaxing. Google and Alexa are like going at it right now. Okay. So I'm going to lay down here and we're going to try to make this comfortable. Got my roller. Oh my God.
Let's jump.
Hi. Can you bet it?
There. Guy. Let's try, dude.
The Menopur didn't burn. I think you put it in the fridge like that.
Sit, yeah.
Didn't hurt her.
What up also? What the
Nothing.
Oh my God.
Like the Menopur used to hurt bad. So on July 21st, here were the sizes of my follicles. They're not my real follicles, they're just a graph. They were 4.5 millimeters to 11.3 millimeters. And you take the trigger shot to stimulate ovulation when the follicles get, he was saying, 18 to 21 millimeters.
So by July 24th, on day 8, they were about 6 or 7 that were already in the 18 to 19 range. So it's hard to balance because you don't know how they're going to grow.
And a lot of those you might lose because they're not primed for retrieval, meaning you can't usually get those to be successful because of size. So they're not viable. So in the next couple of days, I took the trigger shot.
Yeah. Where was the trigger shot again? It was in your...
No, it wasn't. We remember we didn't have to do it in the butt.
Right,
It was like right
yeah.
here. So we had to take 2 of those and then a pregnancy test. So it's either positive or negative. If you get a positive test, you're ready to go for the retrieval. And if it's negative, then you have to start all over again.
Yep.
But it is weird seeing a positive pregnancy test.
Yeah, when you're not pregnant. Well, I mean, you are pregnant, right?
Oh, it's like your body thinks you are because of all the hormones, I guess.
Yeah.
So we went forward with the surgery. It was scheduled for the 27th of July. And the night before, the literal night before, do you remember what happened?
Yeah. Should I tell him or do you
Yeah,
want to tell
no,
him?
you tell
Her
them.
doctor went on vacation.
She just decided, or I don't know. Well, did she go on vacation or did
That's what she said.
I think she said, yeah, I had to go on vacation.
Yeah.
So a totally different doctor just started
Mm-hmm.
talking to me the next day. Like when I got to my retrieval, I had a new doctor.
Talk about you want to be stress-free and okay. But it was so funny with the doctor. She had never met her once. Never interfaced with her in person. Barely even email.
Yeah, she didn't even know what I looked like. Like when she was giving me advice about like my body and all this stuff, I'm like, she hasn't even seen me.
Which is fine. You know, it's like our bodies are roughly the same per person, right? It's going to be the same retrieval. So
I mean,
if you've
if
done
she-
it once, you've done it, 100 times or...
But I mean, the first time, like I understand she knows my weight and my height and everything. So I guess maybe that's all she needs to know. But
still, for the patient, it's nice to have the bedside manner and feel not as stressful as like, I don't know this person who's going to be operating on me.
right. The other words he just used, we had to swap out for other ones because they sounded questionable. But it was questionable. Like I walked in and I was like, okay, never even met this person before. And I'm going to be completely under anesthesia. No idea if they were going to switch that doctor out at the last minute. And I wouldn't even know because I would wake up in another room.
I mean, it's important because I'm trying to get this point across that, if you're going through this process, you need to be as stress-free as possible. Same with pregnancy too. It's just, it helps the baby develop, it helps the eggs develop, it helps your body do what it needs to do because it doesn't have cortisol floating through your body, messing everything up.
We did research the new doctor the night before and, I was comfortable. It was just uncomfortable not knowing, what was going to happen, but it was fine. Very educated, everything was fine. It's just what he said, stressful that at the last minute I'm being told this. So we went through everything again. We went through the surgery, under anesthesia, the retrieval, and then we got to know exactly how many eggs we got right away.
We got 6.
We got 6. And I have to say, I was pretty disappointed because we had a lot more the time before. And if you weren't here for the outcome of that, they were not viable. They had genetic issues and we only got 2 of them in the end. So this was like even worse, I guess.
And like, I think we mentioned this on the last video. It's a general rule of thumb. If you have X amount, you should divide that by 2 and then divide that by 2. And that's most likely what you'll get.
Yeah. So I guess we're kind of foreshadowing what we got. But it is discouraging because it's all the pain. It's the investment. It's emotionally draining. But we were still hopeful. We were like, you know what? All 6 of them might work. We have no idea. And a few days later, we got the news.
Now 4 were fertilized.
And that was exciting. I was so excited. I was like, okay, maybe we'll get 2 boys and 2 girls because we're planning for our future and planning our family. And we were planning to get married at the time that this was going on. So we kept busy for the next few days because we had to just wait and see if they grow and multiply.
And at this point, we're getting ready to go to CrimeCon, but we finally got the results on August 3rd.
Yeah.
We had no embryos.
Not one. I almost dropped the phone. I could not believe it. I was like sick to my stomach. I did not feel good. I was so disgusted. I couldn't understand.
The last time we got 2.
Yeah. And this time we got nothing. And it was like the feeling you get is like you went through all this for nothing. Like I know it's not all about the money, but it is very expensive. So it's like you just threw your cash into like a ravine and watched it just float away. And it just, I don't know. And not to mention the call with my doctor afterward. I wish I would have recorded it.
Right. It's like, it's your age and, you're barren.
Basically. It's like, because I asked, oh, well, can we maybe, in a few months try something else? Maybe we can try, insemination or doing something not as, I guess, extreme as IVF. And she's like, no, well, how would that work? If you're not able to do the strongest version of this, what makes you think you would be able to do anything else? And I was just like, I don't know. I was just crushed thinking. I went into this having a cycle, ovulating, not thinking I was infertile. We never even thought I was infertile. We were just doing this for the future.
I can't believe the doctor straight up said you're infertile.
Yeah. So I don't know where we were going to go from there. But my best friend at the time, she's a nurse, Valerie, she sent me an encouraging video that said, don't let anyone tell you that you're infertile if you have a uterus. And I know that doesn't apply to every situation because it's true. You can be infertile with a uterus. But that gave me a little bit of hope, I guess. But at the same time, we didn't have any money saved for another round. As a matter of fact, we didn't even have money for the second one. We had to really tap into savings. But I came to find out we should have done a lot more research because once we started looking into KIMBYR,
the reviews weren't good.
No.
Yeah. So this time, we still want to capture some embryos so we can plan for our future, get married, and then when we're ready, have this baby. And so we wanted to do it a third time. And this time we weren't going to use KIMBYR. We were going to find somebody who's done this for quite a few years, somebody with more experience.
And that's when a friend of mine who had success before recommended me a doctor in Beverly Hills. I started the entire process. We had all of our records sent over. And meanwhile, we went to CrimeCon and it was so much fun. We didn't get to go recently, but we will be there again. And if you've never gone, we'll leave all the information in the description box because we would love to see you there. But this doctor had a lot more experience and we started planning for our first consultation. We were probably going to do it in November. And in between that, I started reading this book called It Starts with the Egg. And I started taking a bunch of new vitamins. I'm going to link them all below because that's one of the questions people kept asking, what vitamins did you take? What did you do? Because the story gets better. Let's just say that. I also try to cut out as much plastic from my life as possible. I stopped using a lot of my skincare, perfumes, things that are toxic. So read that book. I'm going to link it below for you, as well as all the vitamins that I took. It definitely does make a difference. There's a lot of studies that have shown, and I'll put this below so you can read it for yourself. It definitely does work if you're consistent.
Right. I feel that in all facets of life, if you're eating better, if you're taking care of yourself, you're exercising, you're treating your body like a temple, as they say, it helps your body regenerate things. And like eggs, your body creates those and pushes them out and creates the nice shell for them and makes them healthy. And it's just do everything you can to be your healthiest if you're going through this, and it'll help.
I mean, we're not doctors, but from the book that I read and the studies I read, there are a few vitamins that have, you can't make more eggs, but you can improve the quality of them. And that's really important. I want to mention something because when we went to CrimeCon, there's something that happened that I have superstition. So I sometimes just feel like, things happen for a reason. We met the nicest and sweetest couple that happened to be from Jacksonville, where I lived for almost a decade, went to law school there. Her name was Julianne, and her husband and her were so sweet. She owns a company called Couture Gems. It's a permanent jewelry business in Jacksonville. I'm actually going to link it below. If you're in the area, check it out. But they brought their baby.
Bijou.
Yeah. And when I say baby, it was she was just born.
Yeah.
I think she was only maybe a month, if that. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, I cannot. But they have 5 kids or 6 kids. Yeah. So they have done this many times before. But I was in heaven. She let me hold Bijou. And I was just like, I'm going to show you a picture. I was just holding her and looking at her. And I was just like, okay, maybe I'm going to get some baby dust. And if you've never heard that before, it's just a superstition that if you're around babies, it rubs off on you and you might get pregnant. So I was like, oh, maybe they'll give us good vibes for our next IVF.
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing is her mom told me that when she was pregnant with her, she used to watch my true crime videos. So she was like, she's probably going to fall asleep to your voice.
And lo and behold, she did.
She did. It was so cute. It was so, so cute. So we plan to do, like we said, our next round of IVF sometime after the holidays. And I was diligently tracking my cycles. I bought the Aura ring. You have one on. I don't have one on right now. I'll link it below because I paired that with Natural Cycles, which is an app on your phone. So the Aura ring actually predicted that I was pregnant because, spoiler alert, I'm sure you already know if you follow us, like we've had a baby already. But she's actually on our monitor right here. We're watching her. But my Aura ring knew I was pregnant before I even had a clue. But we will get back to that in a moment. So we finished CrimeCon, and immediately afterward,
I got COVID.
and then I get COVID. And we were both really, really sick.
Yeah, in sequence. I was sick first, and then she was sick, and she even missed this big convention that she was speaking at.
Well, I didn't. I went to it.
She missed the convention. She spoke.
Oh, right. I couldn't be present at the whole convention, but I had to speak on stage in front of 100 people, 100 or more?
It was big. It was
big.
500 people, something like that.
Yeah. And I even told them, I have COVID, and they're like, too bad, so sad. I was like, okay. I was already
booked. They did not
booked.
care. They're like, no, we can't. You're not getting replaced. You're up here.
Yeah. So I had to get up there sick, and we got this Airbnb. All of our friends were supposed to come. We were supposed to have so much fun. And I've never had COVID. I've never even had the flu. So we went from the stage back to our Airbnb, and we just binged
Breaking Bad.
the whole time.
The entire series.
A week. We were there a week. And then also tell them what we postmated.
Oh, God. We got a cornucopia of drugs. We didn't know. She didn't know. I'm like, do you
You're
want
sounding like you're...
This is good. No, all of them.
No,
I need
we're
all...
talking about not drugs. We're talking about medicines.
We got cough syrup, cough pills. We got aspirin, Tylenol, Motrin. We got Mucinex 3 ways. And we got Zantac. No, what's it called? Zycam. We got 3 Zycams. We got, and all daytime and nighttime versions of all of it, just to see which ones would work.
Because he's had COVID before, but I hadn't.
I think we spent $200 in medicines.
And the person that Postmates delivered, I feel like they were ooh, they were probably yikes, I don't want to get near these people. But I was so scared that I was going to get pneumonia because I've had pneumonia a couple times, but luckily I didn't. But then what was sad is I'm sitting on the bed in Dallas, sick, and I have to let the IVF place know that we're probably going to have to postpone because when you get COVID, your sperm count goes down. So there's all these things that happen, and I was thinking we're going to have to hold out for a couple months now for everything to get back to normal. It takes about a month for you to feel normal after COVID. So we were just trying to kind of take our mind off it again because now we had to wait to even do the consult with the new doctor. So we started filling our calendar with things.
Yeah, we went to a Lifetime true crime event. That was really fun. It was for a new show.
Mm-hmm. We started decorating for Halloween. My littlest sister visited us. We went to Disney, and then because she was flying out for LashCon. And then we also did a big giveaway, which we're going to do again on Dark Livity and my main channel, where you pick the name of our Halloween series. And then we put together a fall care package for the winner.
What was who decided your series last year?
I don't remember the person's name. I'm so sorry off the top of my head, but...
Well, no, what was the name?
Oh, it was All Hallows Horrors.
All Hallows Horrors.
Yeah, that was so fun. And then we started planning my daughter Shiloh's birthday because she was born on October 28th, and we took her to Halloween Horror Nights.
We did the RIP tour, and that was my first time, and it will be the only way I do Halloween Horror Nights because the lines are massive. If you can just save up a little bit of money and spend that, you can do the entire thing in a few hours and hit every maze.
It's basically a private tour if you've never done it, and it is expensive, but it's my daughter's birthday. It's our favorite holiday. So we definitely save up to do stuff for that reason because it's so much fun.
It is worth it.
Yeah. If you're going to do Halloween Horror Nights, you might as well just pay extra because you get to go to all the haunted houses. They tell you the folklore. They tell you the reason behind the houses. You're with a guide. It's really fun.
Yeah. And you do them all. Oh my God. It's
and you're behind the scenes too. So you get to go different paths. It's I want to do it again this year.
Yeah.
I know we're going to have the baby though. babysitters put out like a Google form for babysitters.
Yeah.
I also got Shyla custom made Oreos. I'm just mentioning all the fun things that we did. And then we had her birthday party, which was in Long Beach with all of her friends. It was a huge event called Shacktoberfest.
Shacktoberfest featuring Shaquille O'Neal.
It was so much fun. It brought back so many memories because she went on the Gravitron.
Oh, the Gravitron.
But it was like an open Gravitron.
Yeah.
It's called something else. I almost threw up just looking at it.
Yeah, that thing's fun.
But what was interesting and why I'm mentioning all this is because one of her friends' mothers was pregnant. I think she was like only a couple months pregnant at the time.
Yeah, D.
And what was weird is I hadn't told him yet. I hadn't told anyone, but I was feeling a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was feeling off. And when I heard her say, you know, she was pregnant, something about it made me think I was pregnant. Isn't that weird? I didn't say anything because I'm not going to be like, oh, I think I'm pregnant out of nowhere, being that I'm infertile and everything. So after all this happened, I was in my apps trying to figure everything out. And I'm like, well, I can't be pregnant because I've been tracking, you know, and I know that I had my cycle on October 1st. But then all of a sudden I started looking and I'm like, why did I also have another cycle on the 25th?
The weirdest thing is what she didn't realize is that your temperature on the app will tell you. And if you read the temperature, it's all spiking.
Yeah, we're going to show it on the screen. So the ones that are down just means I wasn't wearing my ring. Because when they see the graph, there's going to be like a couple of them. But I realized, and I started Googling. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't know the temperature thing yet. So I was Googling. I knew that your temperature spiked, but I didn't know the Oura Ring was showing that. So bear in mind, I didn't know that. I was Googling and I found out that women over 35, they can ovulate twice in one cycle. Okay, it doesn't happen all the time, especially if you've taken IVF drugs. Also, what I found out is that, you know, when there's a long month, like if there's 31 days in a month, you can have your period in the beginning and then at the end, because it's kind of overlapping. So I'm like, maybe I'm fine. But what was even weirder was that it was only for 2 days.
Right.
And my cycle's usually longer than that. So you tell them what happened.
So I'm in my quarters editing or something, and she is in this set doing something, and she calls me. She says, hey, come over here. I need to talk to you. And I was like, uh-oh, what's wrong? She's
Were you
like,
scared?
nothing. No, it's just the tone of voice was like, oh, what happened? So I come over here.
And I said, I'm not filming. I should have filmed, but I felt weird.
Nah, you should have filmed it. So she sits me down on this couch. She looks at me. I'm like, what's wrong? She goes, I have a feeling I'm pregnant. And I go,
But the reason why is because we were so scared for me to get pregnant naturally because we were afraid the genetic issues that we had.
right, because every time we were doing all these IVF things, everything's like, your baby has some sort of genetic issue. And we're like, oh, great. So all
Yeah.
your eggs, my combination is just not viable.
I was just very afraid of what would happen. And especially there were so many things that were uncertain. So that was hard because we were trying to plan. That's why we were doing IVF. So it was October 30th. And like he said, sat him down. And then I said, why don't we go get a pregnancy test?
Oh, yeah.
So we got a first response, which is supposed to be a good one. And it says it can tell you're pregnant 6 days sooner. So I said, this is easy. We'll just take it. But I'm going to insert a video here that's been going viral on both like TikTok and Instagram, funny enough, because it was not easy to tell. We were so confused. So we're going to play that right now. I'm not pregnant? Or I am? There's 2 lines, but they're like weird. Oh my God, this is so nerve-wracking. Okay, so if you looked at this test, would you think this is negative or positive? This is the no when it's on the right, and the pregnant is on the left. So that stands to reason when the left one lights up, you're pregnant. So mine was the left one, the pregnant line was bright, but the one on the right, the non-pregnant line was light. But on the box, it says 2 pink lines is pregnant, no matter whether one of them is less faint. Well, we've got confirmation. Even if one line is lighter, you're pregnant. So as you can see, we took the digital one that came in the box as well. They gave you 2, and I was pregnant. It's called a dye stealer when you only have the one line.
She was so pregnant that it ripped all the ink from the other side and said, "You are so pregnant."
But that scared us because we were like, wait a minute, multiples? I'm not saying it wouldn't have been amazing if we had more than one, because actually I would have maybe preferred having two and then be like, yay, boy and a girl or something like that. But we were afraid because we did IVF. We were like, what if we have 5? What if I, was hyperstimulated or something and my body is having like 5 babies? Because truthfully, I had a lot of HCG in my system, which even my doctor thought was odd. Because after this, I had the pleasure of letting KIMBYR know that I was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, what? Because they were not expecting that. But we did go in for our very first ultrasound.
Right. To their surprise, after the doctor says, "You're infertile. There's no way you're getting pregnant." What?
Yeah. We didn't even get to announce, and I'm not saying like get to announce, but usually with my last pregnancy, I remember, it was like 12 weeks. You could tell everyone you're pregnant, no big deal. But there were so many tests this time because of my age. I went through so many different tests. But before all that, we went to KIMBYR to make sure that I was actually pregnant, to do a blood test and to do the ultrasound. Also, my doctor was like, oh, I'm flying back from New York. I'm going to be there for the first ultrasound. Ghosted again.
Yeah, so we went back to KIMBYR on November 2nd, and sure enough, one baby, she was pregnant.
Mm-hmm. At that point, I was already 5 weeks and 6 days. So they said around like October 21st. But I went back to the Aura ring and I actually saw that it spiked, I think, on like the 18th of October.
Right, we're not even too sure when the date of conception was.
But I do know that like your body can be kind of like awakened from doing IVF and maybe you can become like more fertile.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but I tried to look up whether like the eggs could stay in there because I had the misconception that the eggs could stay and they don't. The eggs cannot stay. You get rid of them. So if they don't get fertilized, they're removed. I thought maybe one hung around or something, but that's not how it happens. Nope. So then I started learning about the Aura ring. And if you have those spikes and they last more than 10 to 12 days, you usually have a viable pregnancy. And sure enough, I could see they began spiking on October 17th. And that is most likely the day I conceived because your basal body temperature rises.
Right, and it does not go below that threshold. It'll never go into a negative. It'll always stay above the line.
Until the baby, I don't know what week it is, but at some point it normalizes again. But it's like into your pregnancy, which I thought was
it kind of
really
looks
cool.
like you're sick.
Yeah, the app does say that.
Yeah.
Because it thinks your temperature is high because you have a fever. So in the next video, we want to obviously share what we haven't shared online about our pregnancy journey because we really didn't share anything other than like little bits and pieces. So we did save that content for all of you here on this channel.
And we will be posting much sooner.
Yes, it is tough with a newborn. Not gonna lie, I'm sure all of you know that. But we wanted to at least share this part and how it all happened. And, this wasn't planned, but it's amazing. It's such a great experience. We're so grateful. I'm like still in shock that we have a baby.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like I look at her and I'm like, how did this happen? I mean, it's a great thing. Other exciting things that have happened, we released our first set of merch.
Yeah.
So you can look for that below as well. And we are going to be renovating an old fixer-upper house here on this channel as well. So that'll be really fun. Like we have a lot to do. So look for the link in the description box if you want to support us. And we thank you so very much for listening to our story today.
We'll see you soon.
And don't forget to like
and subscribe. And share this with someone who's going through an IVF journey. Maybe it'll help.
That's right. All right. Bye.